Hayam Wuruk, the Sun King and the dazzling high noon of the Majapahit Empire. Introduction. The heir to a great oath. Every great empire has its golden moment, a dazzling high noon when its power, wealth, and culture all reach their zenith. For Majapahit, the final and most glorious Hindu-Buddhist empire of Indonesia, that moment was the reign of its fourth monarch, Hayam Wuruk. He was not a brutal conqueror or a cunning founder. He was an heir, a king born to rule in a time of peace and prosperity. But his glory did not come from luck alone. It was built upon the solid foundation of his predecessors and given wings by the talent of a legendary prime minister, a man who had sworn an oath that shook the entire archipelago. This is the story of a golden age, a time when Majapahit was not just a military superpower, but a brilliant cultural center where art, poetry, and royal ceremony shone with a blinding radiance. Chapter 1. The Prince of the Volcano and the Peaceful Succession. Hayam Wuruk was born in the year 1334. According to legend, his birth coincided with a great eruption of the Kalud volcano. For the ancient Javanese, this was no mere coincidence. It was an omen from the gods, a sign that a great soul, a king of kings, had descended to the world. He grew up in a powerful court. His mother was the reigning queen, Tribhuwana Wijayatungga Dewi, who had ruled Majapahit with a firm hand. And beside her was a colossal figure who had shaped the entire empire, the Prime Minister, Gajah Mada. It was Gajah Mada, with his immortal Palapa oath, who had pledged to unify the entire Nusantara archipelago and make Majapahit its master. In 1350, after his grandmother, the Dowager Queen Rajapatni, passed away, his mother decided to abdicate. Hayam Wuruk, then only 16 years old, officially ascended the throne, taking the regnal name Rajasanagara. He inherited an efficient state apparatus, a powerful army, and a brilliant prime minister at the peak of his career. The stage was set for a golden age. Chapter 2. The Power Couple, the Artist King and the Warrior Minister. The era of Hayam Wuruk was defined by the near-perfect partnership between two great men, the king himself and his prime minister, Gajah Mada. They were like two sides of the same coin, creating an absolute balance. Gajah Mada was the iron fist, the brilliant military and political strategist. He continued to carry out his Palapa oath, using naval power and conquest to expand Majapahit's influence throughout the archipelago. He was the builder of the empire's tangible power. Hayam Wuruk was the soul, the great patron of culture and the arts. He was not a warmongering king. He was a talented dancer, a poet, a devout man of faith, and one who cared deeply for the prosperity of his subjects. He transformed the capital city of Traulan into a brilliant cultural center. He patronized poets and artisans, and organized incredibly lavish and magnificent royal festivals. The combination of a powerful prime minister ensuring military and political stability and a wise king focused on developing culture and the economy created the perfect environment for prosperity. Wet rice agriculture flourished, providing an abundant food supply. International trade boomed, and the ports of Majapahit became bustling centers, trading spices, precious woods, and other products with China, Champa, and the kingdoms of India. Chapter 3. Portrait of an Empire in Immortal Poetry. Fortunately, we do not have to imagine this golden age. It was recorded in detail in one of the greatest literary works of Southeast Asia, the epic poem Nagarakretagama. Composed in 1365 by the court poet Mpu Prapansa, the Nagarakretagama is an ode to King Hayam Wuruk and his empire. It is not a dry chronicle, but a vivid and colorful panorama. On the capital of Traulan, the work describes a capital city surrounded by strong red brick walls, with magnificent palaces, gardens, and artificial lakes. Inside was a complex of Hindu and Buddhist temples, all coexisting in harmony. On the royal tours, the Nagarakretagama details the extensive tours King Hayam Wuruk took throughout his territories. He traveled to inspect public works, to perform religious rituals at various temples, and most importantly, to meet and listen to his subjects. He emerges as an accessible king, concerned with the welfare of his people. On the scope of influence, the work lists dozens of vassal states and trading partners of Majapahit, stretching from Sumatra, the Malay Peninsula, and Borneo, to the Spice Islands of the Moluccas. It paints a picture of a federal empire, a great mandala with Trawalan as the center of the universe. Alongside the Nagarakretagama were other literary works such as the Sutta Soma. It is in this work that one finds the immortal line that has become the national motto of modern Indonesia, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, which means unity in diversity. This phrase perfectly encapsulates the spirit of Majapahit under Hayam Wuruk, an empire that ruled over hundreds of different ethnic groups, languages, and beliefs, but all were united under a single banner. Chapter 4, The Twilight of the Golden Age. This brilliant golden age began to come to an end after the passing of its two main pillars. In 1364, the great Prime Minister Gajah Mada died. His power had been so immense that King Hayam Wuruk had to appoint 4 different men to replace the various positions he had held. Then in 1389, King Hayam Wuruk also passed away. His death left a power vacuum that could not be filled and opened a period of turbulent succession disputes. One of the most tragic events was the Bubat incident. Hayam Wuruk had wished to marry the princess of the neighboring Sunda kingdom to form an alliance. But Gajah Mada saw this as an act of submission. When the Sundanese royal wedding party arrived, they were massacred by Gajah Mada's army. The Sundanese princess took her own life. This tragedy created a deep-seated enmity and weakened Majapahit's prestige. After 1389, the empire gradually weakened due to civil wars, the rise of coastal Islamic sultanates, and a decline in trade. The dazzling high noon was over, giving way to a long twilight. Conclusion: the undying legacy of unity and diversity. Although the Majapahit Empire eventually fell, the reign of King Hayam Wuruk is forever remembered as the golden age in the memory of the Indonesian people. He was not a brutal conqueror, but a wise king who presided over a period of relative peace and prosperity. He was a great patron who brought Javanese culture and art to its zenith. His most important legacy is the spirit of Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, or unity in diversity. His reign proved that it was possible to build a powerful empire based on the respect and harmonization of different cultures and religions. That spirit has become his most precious legacy, the ideological foundation for the formation of the modern Republic of Indonesia, a nation built on the very diversity of its thousands of islands.